Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you for joining me for episode 9 of my LinkedIn video series, Amplify Your Career. Today's topic, I will be talking about the confidence factor as a way to attract sponsors and grow your sponsor network. I think that the confidence factor actually doesn't get the right amount of airplay as it relates to sponsorship. Normally, when people talk about confidence, it's about how to position yourself for that next level promotion. But I really believe, in my experience, that confidence is the fabric, it's the thread that's woven through how you can be successful in identifying and obtaining sponsors. I'll also talk about this term called executive presence. It's something that I heard early in my career. And it's also a term, quite honestly, that makes my skin crawl just a little bit, because a lot of times when people talk about needing to develop executive presence, it's not very well defined. And then we also don't talk about how you can actually develop your executive presence. So I'll give you a couple of thoughts that I have on that as well. So let's go back to the confidence factor. I believe fundamentally that if you're going to attract the right sponsors, the ones that are going to put their name on the line for you, that are willing to take that risk to advocate for you, that if you have confidence, that will help mitigate that risk for your sponsor. And I think for me, confidence is directly tied to your competence. I am probably in the minority of people that doesn't quite wholeheartedly believe in faking it till you make it. I understand the concept, but I also think it's really important for you to think about what is your key or your core knowledge base that is going to help you develop your confidence. And the best way to do that is through high performance. I always tell my proteges and mentees that doing great work doing great work in the workplace is table stakes for being able to progress in your career. But I also think it's really important that you have that base of high performance, because other sponsors who are looking at you, because you're always on stage, right? Looking at you and believing in your potential are going to look at your performance, good or bad, and make some judgment calls about whether or not they're ready to sponsor you. So I do believe that confidence is rooted in competence. The other thing that I would offer for you as we're talking about the confidence factor is that when you talk about executive presence, there are really a couple things that I think are common elements of executive presence. Number one, I think a good person or a good professional that has executive presence is someone that has high emotional intelligence. Because again, when you are in a people leader role, you are the caretaker of your team. You need to be able to understand the thoughts and emotions of your team, how that's affecting their performance. And I think growing emotional intelligence actually helps you to develop political savvy, which is another element that I believe is fundamental to executive presence. I also think that authenticity and transparency are important to executive presence as well. Finding your authentic leadership style is absolutely core to being able to have strong executive presence. I remember when I worked in consulting, and there were people that were trying to get promoted to that senior manager level or that partner level. And you would see people start to mimic other partners because they felt like that was the way that they were to get promoted at work. And I think that mimicking is not being true to yourself. You have your own value system, your own set of core beliefs about leadership, and living those beliefs and values every day is how you stand out and attract other sponsors. There's a couple of resources that I would recommend, especially if you're trying to develop your executive presence. One is a book by Amy Cuddy called Presence, which I think many of you probably have in your library, but it's a wonderful book about understanding the essence of presence and how you can internalize it for yourself. I also think that working on your communication skills is essential to being able to have that confidence and developing your executive presence. And I would say, a lot of people talk about organizations like Toastmasters, which is fabulous if you want to work on your public speaking. But I also think practicing even in your workplace, presenting at meetings, facilitating meetings, being able to stand up in front of your peers or senior leaders and lead them through a meeting is a wonderful way to practice your communication skills. And it's also a great mirror to reflect on how you communicate. Are you effective? Are you clear and crisp? So those were the tidbits that I wanted to offer to you today around the confidence factor. Again, confidence to me is definitely directly related to your competence. Work on your communication skills. And honestly, try to find your authentic leadership style. Write down some of the values that you have as a leader that you want to inspire others with as well. So again, thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Stay safe. Take care.